So yes, both Panameras, but really completely different rides. With the 26 GTS, it's low slung, it's loud, it rumbles and pops, versus the 4E hybrid is more higher strung, but you have 40 miles of all electric range if you want. You have a softer compliant ride. So if you're going to consider a sports saloon like this, what's the right way to go? Murdered out, loud and low GTS, or a luxurious e-hybrid sport saloon? Let's take them both around the block and see which one you would like.
All right, we'll start off in the Panamera 4E hybrid. This will be the first Panamera comparison that I'm doing, but if you've ever been in a Panamera, you know that it is a very lovely place to be. All the finishing, all the details that they put into this I would call flagship saloon car, because we also have the all-electric Taycan, but being a hybrid car makes this kind of different as far as the experience driving you're going to have. So it starts in e-Power. If you want to drive an e-Power, if it's a full battery, you have about 40 miles of driving to go on all e-Power. Right now it's about, you can see, it's about a little over halfway charged, and it says 28 miles. So it depends on how you drive, the climate, tires, stuff like that. But if you want to start, go into hybrid mode, you get this pop-up on the dash, and it asks you, do you want e-hold, which will hold the charge in the battery. If you don't want the charge to drop anywhere lower than that, like you know you're going to go someplace and there's not going to be a charger and you want to have some battery left, you could drive it in e-hold. Now to get it back up, or to get that pop-up back up, I have to turn the mode back to hybrid, so it'll let me select e-charge. This will actually charge the battery as I'm driving, but only at higher speeds. So it'll be a hybrid vehicle using an electric motor to start off, but as you get speed up, it will actually start charging the battery up. Then driving in sport mode, it will use what battery you have for torque off the line. So it'll start off in battery, and then it will kick over to the engine, or it may do both depending on how hard you're accelerating. But it will be charging the battery as you use the car. And the same thing for Sport Plus. It's going to be charging a little bit as you're driving more aggressively. So we'll stay in sport mode first of all. Actually, you know what? Let's start off in E mode. This is how it will just normally start if you want to drive. I know I've heard some owners of this car will they'll fill it up maybe like twice a year, because they just drop the kids off at school or go shopping at home, and whenever they get home they plug it in. So that's a good thing. That's the way that the car is meant to be used. But on plugging it in, it is supposed to be a plug-in hybrid. To have full use of the extra power that the e-motor gives you, you should really plug it in at night. You don't have to, like I said, but you really should. And let's see, giving it some goose, and if I accelerate faster or more than what the motor can get you out of the way, it will default to turn the engine on, and then as soon as you get off the accelerator, it turns the engine off. So now we're back in E mode. Still on E mode. So let's go on to hybrid now, and still on E mode. Give it a little goose. Oh yeah, the engine turned on a lot quicker. Yeah, and it has plenty of giddy up. So in the PCM here on your e-hybrid cars, you have the performance meter, and I have it on the energy one, so you can see that the engine is charging the battery, or where it's charging the battery. Gives you the battery temperature,
And there's the e-boost. So we're drawing battery off, or drawing electricity off the battery. And then this tells you how much of the combustion engine we're using compared, if you could see that. But it does it very seamlessly. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference between engine and e-motor unless you were looking at either the tach turning on or these meters. It's very smooth. It just feels like smooth power when you're driving. And so now we'll put it in sport mode, and this is going to lower the car a little bit and always keep the engine on. You can see the RPMs on, and now you can see when I get off the accelerator that it goes from blue, which is drawing on battery power, to green. See, there's green. I hit the brake and it's really regenerating the power as I hit the brake. So that's the way that it will charge the battery as you're driving in sport mode. You can see the power meter of the blue. This is going on in front of me as well in the tach. The dance between the RPMs on the tach and the e-motor. This is like they're both going at the same time. It's pretty slick. I'm going to put it in manual mode. You'll hold down the shaving knob here till now you're in control of shifting up. It's just a formidable car. It's 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds. I remember when 3.9 seconds was supercar acceleration territory back in the day 20 years ago. 3.9. I remember when it was amazing to do in the 4s for a street car. Just tell you how far the technology and the power has come. Just smooth power. And for a sport saloon or a luxury saloon, this would be a very nice place to hang out. Starting price on these, I believe, are like $126, and this one is optioned out with the nice leather. You can see the cross stitching in the dash to $151,000. But just such a nice place to be. I'm going to turn off the lane keep assist. That's annoying to me. You hold down the button on the bottom of the steering wheel until that you get an off sign on the lane keep. But just instant torque. As soon as you hit the accelerator, you don't have to wait for a drop down gear. It just picks up the e-motor and just goes. Woo! And that PDK, always buttery, no hesitation in the power delivery. It's beautiful. So who's going to be your ideal owner for this Panamera? Someone who appreciates the quietness. I mean, it's just luxury that you're looking at, luxury that you're feeling. The ride, even in sport mode, is very compliant. Just a nice place to be. Now as we go and try the GTS, you'll see the difference, what I'm talking about, as far as this would be the beauty and the GTS is the beast. So let's go drive that one. Sport. Actually, let's start off in normal so you could hear the difference once we're out on the road. This car starts 165, and this one's optioned out to 177. Love the Turbo S knockoffs
that they not knockoffs as in fake, knockoffs as in wheels. It's very sporty. Ooh, just sounds good. It's just throatier. So we're gonna go, let me see here, I want to exit out of this. Exit out of this. We're gonna go back into the performance section of the PCM here. It's more abbreviated than the e-turbo, understandably, or the e-hybrid. You could also see your not only your tire pressure, but also your temperature. And then you could also see the engine dynamics. Hey, wait a minute. I didn't see. Oh, there it is. There's your PSI and temperature. And then your dynamics. So this has 30 more horse than the e-hybrid, but it just delivers the power differently. Whereas you have an e-motor on the front axle of the 4E hybrid, it almost like pulls you along. This is all rear wheel grunt, you would call it. All right, RAV4, I'm coming around the outside. Coming around the outside, grip for days. I don't think I'll be able to get the Honda. Still in third gear. And then here we go. Whew. Just smooth power. All right, let's drop it into sport. That's also going to lower it a little bit. In fact, let's go into our vehicle here, see where we're at as far as height goes, because I want to see what the ride's like while we're in sport. Level is normal. Let's drop the level down to low. You could tell it's a little stiffer ride than the 4S, but still compliant, but just you could feel more of the road. And because you're driving a car, this is GTS and it's all black, it just feels bad. Whew. Love those PDK shifts. So let's see, what else does a GTS come with? It comes with 18-way seats. It comes with Porsche Torque Vectoring Plus, which applies braking pressure to the wheels to help with rotating the car. More of the driver-oriented options, understandably. Just rides flat with that air suspension. Whew. You can see the wing in the back. I'll have to show you when we pull over. The wing comes out at 60 miles an hour, now folded back down, but it's a three-piece rear wing. I don't know if you've probably seen them on Panameras where it kind of comes up and then splits in two. It looks pretty slick looking through the rear view mirror, like looking for more grip. All right, little truck. Whew. Now, I say it cracks and burbles. It's a muffled crack and burble. It's probably louder on the outside than it is on the inside. You hear a little bit of the blub, blub, blub when you get off the accelerator once you get on it. But it's not like a Cayenne or a 911 where you really hear the pops and gurgles because the engine's much closer.
You tell it's understated performance luxury the way that it's set up, but very nice. So who's going to be the type of buyer that would opt for the GTS over the 4E hybrid? I don't want to be sexist, but it is a guy's car. I think if you were to take your wife in both of these cars, she would probably opt for the 4E hybrid just because it's so much more practical, usable top power without the drama of the engine. But you know, some women like to hear the lumpy turbocharged V8 growl behind them. But this really does feel like a guy's car and sounds like a guy's car. Just solid. I mean, this thing feels like a tank that it is when you're driving it. Oh, and here's the difference in the wings too. On the regular Panamera wing, it just is one plane that pops up at speed. But on a GTS and a turbo, it actually comes up and spreads out. These two pieces fold over the top of this piece. It looks really cool in the rear view mirror when you're driving when it pops out. So what do you think? Are you going to go for the brawn of the GTS with its snarly V8 and stiffer suspension? Or do you like the practicality of the 4E hybrid and the ability to do 40 or 50 miles of all-electric travel? $16,000 difference in the price of these two cars. If you're interested, call the store and ask for Mark Sternberg. He's been selling cars here for a long time, and he'll help you out on these two cars. Something new is I've set up a Stan store in my account. So in my bio and on the first comment below, I have a link. If you're building a car and you want to schedule a call with me to go over it to make sure you're not leaving out any options that you should get on your particular Porsche, you can schedule a call with me in that link below. And I also am compiling a list of what I think are the most valuable options to have on all models. Starting off with the 911, I think I have like 18 options that I graded as far as how important it is to have. That's free. If you want that, you could just give me your email and I'll email it to you. And other than that, we'll see you on the next video. Oh, and watch this video.